People ask me all the time how I'm different from other financial advisors, and I came across a piece of investment research that explains it precisely. Every year, Barron's, a respected weekly financial newspaper, publishes a cover story in mid-December in which 10 top investment strategists from Wall Street's largest firms tell investors which sectors in the coming year will be the best and worst investments. I follow the research from an independent economist who has been tracking the performance of the 10 Wall Street strategists since Barron's began publishing its annual Outlook cover story in 2005. The economist's name is Fritz Meyer, and ironically, Fritz Meyer was senior investment strategist at one of the world's largest investment companies for a decade. In 2011, Fritz Meyer left Wall Street to start his own independent economic research firm. His monthly reports get rave reviews from a small group of independent investment professionals scattered across the country. Fritz Meyer's latest report examines how an investor would have performed by following the advice of the big Wall Street firms, as published in Barron's. The 2014 results are so bad that I licensed the rights to share Meyer's research with you to illustrate the value of an independent advisor. This is the scorecard Meyer published in January of 2015, looking back at the performance of the sector calls made by the strategists for 2014. The Wall Street firms made their calls in a Barron's cover story published on December 15, 2013. Meyer tabulated the picks and pans made by Wall Street strategists for 2014, which show that the strategists made 3 good calls, but the 4 bad calls would have hurt an investor's results and left you with a loss overall. Let's look at what would have happened if you had followed the advice published in Barron's of these giant Wall Street firms in 2014. All 10 Wall Street firms had been bullish on technology in December 2013, and that turned out to be a good call. The S&P 500 Technology Index gained 18% in 2014 and returned the best results of the 10 industry sectors. However, the consensus forecast among the analysts had been bullish on technology for 8 straight years. So this was the first time in 7 years that they were correct. When you look at the Wall Street calls versus what actually happened in 2014, you see that the sector voted by Wall Street as least likely to succeed in 2014, utilities stocks, were the biggest gainers of the 10 industry sectors indexed by Standard & Poor's. If you would have followed the advice of Wall Street's so-called top strategists, you would have missed the 24% gain in utilities shares, and you would have trailed the S&P 500 in 2014. 6 of the 10 strategists interviewed by Barron's panned utilities in December of 2013. Only 1 of them picked utilities to outperform the S&P 500 stock index. Of the 10 industry groups, utilities was panned by more Wall Street firms than any other industry group. Yet again, it was the #1 performing sector for 2014. It soared 24%. Along the same lines, 6 of the Wall Street firms panned consumer staples, and that industry stock index gained a whopping 13% in 2014, a gain that you would have missed if you had followed Wall Street advice. And now consider this. 2014's lousy performance by Wall Street strategists is nothing new. Meyer has documented the track record year after year since 2005, and he says the long-term track record of Wall Street's top strategists is a disaster. Meyer examined the record established by the panel annually since they began providing their sector picks and pans, and he methodically has consolidated the strategist's track record year after year in a scorecard. This final chart shows all of the Wall Street panel's sector calls in Barron's since the panel began making sector picks and pans. If Wall Street's top strategists collectively were systematically giving valuable sector picking advice, then these data points, representing all of their calls since 2007, would lie along the 45-degree angle indicated in red. If at the beginning of the year a strategist said a sector would outperform, and it did, then it would be up over here in the northeast quadrant. Yet what you see is absolutely a scattershot. There was no correlation between the performance of the 10 industry sectors and what the so-called top strategists predicted would happen. The Wall Street giants' picks have been no better than monkeys throwing darts. This is a fundamental difference between what we do here at XYZ and other financial advisors. I've chosen to practice independently to avoid the traditional advisor-client relationship at Wall Street brokerages. When I provide you with advice as an investment advisor representative, I'm acting as a fiduciary, and I am required by law to advise you based on what's in your best interest. That's the highest standard of care an investor can ask for from an advisor. It's the business model we've chosen because Wall Street's model of offering financial advice is outmoded in an era of transparency. As an independent professional, I'm free to recommend what's best for you based on research from independent sources. And there's another important difference between me and other advisors. My style of investing is to diversify broadly and avoid making big bets on industry sectors or trying to predict the next hot stock or the next fad. Academic research and modern portfolio theory are the foundation of our prudent investment approach, as well as full disclosure and an abiding commitment to do what's best for you. I've built a successful financial advice practice in this community by always trying to do the right thing.